guys, we're here in the kitchen tonight and we're fixing to make some cookies. And this is an old recipe. It's my mother-in-law's recipe. I'm not sure where she got it, but as far as I remember, it was just always a recipe that she always done, and they were just so good. This cookie is it's a chewy cookie with a, you know, the bottom's kind of crispy, but the middle's chewy. And it's a really good cookie to me, my opinion. It's just one of them cookies that you would want to eat with a cup of coffee. It's just that kind of cookie. It's just really good dipped in your coffee or whatever. They're not too sweet, and you pretty much got all the ingredients. The only thing you might not have is you need some just regular corn flakes. But we're going to start mixing this up real quick, and then we'll get some baked up. I got a 350-degree oven, and it's going to take between probably 7 and 9 minutes for them to cook. So let's get this mixed up. We're going to start mixing our sugars up. I've got 2 cups of brown sugar. And I've got, now this makes a lot. This makes a lot of cookies. This is a big batch. And I've got 2 cups of granulated sugar. So that's 2 brown sugar and 2 cups of white sugar. Let's see, I've got 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And I've got 2 cups. And I know this sounds like a lot, but like I said, this makes a lot of cookies. I've got 2 cups of cooking oil, which will be your vegetable oil, your canola oil, whatever kind of oil that you use to cook with or to bake with. So it's 2 cups. Now I've got 4 eggs, 4 whole eggs. And we're just going to stir this up and get it started. I can remember Nini's mom making these cookies probably back before we even got married. She just always had these. And I'm going to say it's because it made a lot. She had a lot of mouths to feed. She had probably most of the ingredients, and she probably pretty much had cornflakes in the pantry a lot too. So that's probably why she made it quite a bit. So we're going to get the sugars and the egg and the vanilla and the oil mixed up pretty good. And then we're going to put in our dry ingredients. You know, as far as desserts or something sweet, of course, y'all know that pie is my favorite, but I think next to pie, I really think that a homemade cookie is probably my next favorite. So we've got our wet mixture mixed up good. Got that oil in there mixed up with the sugars and the egg. Now we're going to put our flour. And that's 4 cups of all-purpose flour. I've got, let's see, I've got 2 teaspoons of baking soda and a teaspoon of salt. I've got 1.5 cups of quick cooking oats. I think I'm going to stir that up real quick before we put the cornflakes in. Now you could probably add, if you wanted to, you could add dried cranberries, raisins, coconut. But I'm going to leave my mother-in-law's recipe to its original recipe. I don't want to change it any. It's already smelling good. Now, this is my mother-in-law's handwriting. This is her recipe. And on the back, at the very bottom, it says, this recipe makes a dishpan full of cookies, and that it freezes very good. It says it can be hard to stir after a while, so you may have to get help. So once you put your cornflakes in here, it's really going to get stiff. So you may have to get somebody with muscles in here to stir it a little bit. Or you may have more muscles than I do. But you can tell it's starting to get stiff. Now we got 4 cups of cornflakes. And I kind of broke them up a little bit. And as we go to blending and stirring, it's going to break them up a little bit more. And see, right now, I'm not having a hard time. I know a lot of people probably thinking, oh, I couldn't make them cookies because I couldn't get them stirred up. She also put down there that you can do half the recipe. And it's not as hard to stir. So you would just get half the cookies. But my mother-in-law was a very good cook. There wasn't nothing that she ever cooked that I didn't like, so. And she taught me a lot. She cooked for a lot of people. Just get this stirred up good. Because I can tell the cornflakes are already getting in there. They're already mixing up really good. I've got parchment paper over here on my cookie sheet. I'm not going to oil the pan or anything because the cookies have plenty of oil in them. Now I know there's going to be probably somebody get on there and say, that's way too much oil. Well, it's the recipe. It makes good cookies and it works. So, and I'm about there. It's getting mixed up pretty good. I thought maybe I'd have to get Mr. Brown in here to help me stir it, but I think with my big wooden spoon here, I can get it done. You know, it's getting closer and closer to Christmas. And I'm not done with everything that needs to be done before Christmas, but we decided this year, because we talked about it a little bit last year, that we didn't really want this Christmas to be about, you know, everybody stressing over gifts and money, you know, trying to buy them gifts. Of course, we buy for the grandkids and stuff, but we just wanted to get together and celebrate, you know, being together and eating, of course, and enjoying the kids. But as far as going in debt for Christmas, we're not doing that. So, I've got it stirred up good. And it is a thick batter, but it's a good one. I got my cookie sheet here. And I've got these little things here, and I was gifted these by one of my subscribers, and she knows who she is, and I thank her, and I've got 3 different sizes. And this is the biggest one right here. And I like these cookies kind of big, so I'll dip them out on my cookie sheet. We're supposed to have really nice weather at Christmas time. I think it's supposed to be around 60 degrees. You know, I can remember back when my kids were young, Christmas time, it was always so cold. It was just bitter cold. And there was a few times, you know, that we had a snow on Christmas, but here lately, several years, we've not had a snow at Christmas time. I don't know, several years, have we, Mr. Brown? I mean, it's been a while. that I remember. I'm just going to flatten them down a little bit. Now, you don't have to make your cookies this big. You make them as big as you want to. I'll probably send this to work, Mr. Brown, tomorrow, and say Merry Christmas, guys, and let the bus drivers eat them. Okay. They're on the cookie sheet. You've seen how easy they were to mix up. So, I'm going to get them in the oven, and I'm going to put the timer on probably about 8 minutes. We'll see how long it takes. Okay, there's our beautiful cookies. They're all done. Now, one thing I learned about these cookies too a long time ago is if you want a chewy cookie, just leave them in the oven long enough till they're done. But if you want a crispier cookie, leave them in there at least a couple of minutes more. And you'll end up, once they're cooled off, with a crispier cookie. Mr. Brown, you want to try one of your mama's cookies?
I sure do.
I think the ones on top are still kind of warm.
I have ate a truckload of these.
I know you have. Did your mom always have, because I know back then cornflakes was probably the cheapest cereal you could buy.
We used, I remember cornflakes quite a bit. And we used to actually have she used to weigh a lot of wild quail. And I remember that you crunched up cornflakes and actually made a type of batter and cooked them quail with cornflakes.
So that's another reason she always probably had cornflakes in
Yes.
the pantry.
I ate a truckload of quail too back when we used to.
We're not cooking quail today. We're cooking dishpan cookies. Oh, you ain't had one in a long time though, have you?
Not in a while.
You can take those to work with you tomorrow.
Them cookies are so good. I'm not a big fan of super sweets, especially when it comes to a cookie. And I really like this. I like that. It's an old-fashioned taste.
Yeah.
And I really like it.
So I guess you give them a thumbs up too, huh?
If it wasn't so late,
You'd want a cup of coffee.
I'd want a cup of coffee. But that makes a good chewy cookie. And cornflakes and the way they're cooked and made, just a really good cookie.
Yeah, they are.
You done well, my dear.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to talk just a little bit about the oil that is used in this recipe. And it's not just his mama's recipe. It's any, I even looked up online recipe for dishpan cookies, and it calls for 2 cups of oil. And people that are newly subscribed to us probably don't know, and my older subscribers have watched the video, but Danny and I have gotten away from using vegetable oil and canola oil. Anything, we try to stay away from soybean. And that's us. That's how we try to. And I know there's a lot of things that probably has this in it. The canola oil, the soybean, there's lots of things that contain that. But if I can stay away from it as much as I can, I do. So I use peanut oil. I use lard, number 1, lard. Peanut oil. I use olive oil. Avocado oil is a good neutral oil. I use a little bit of coconut oil. But mainly, a lot of times, I use butter. And in this recipe, you can use 4 sticks of melted butter. And that'll give you your 2 cups. So if you'd rather go that route, you can do that too. But I just want to tell you that because I know a lot of you older subscribers know that, you know, because I was standing there saying use cooking oil. Y'all know I don't use it, but if that's what y'all use, that's what Danny's mama used.
Didn't know no different.
Didn't know any different. So
it's supposed to be good for you. The government said it's good for your heart.
Yeah, that's in a whole different video. That's in one of our videos where it tells you where is lard good for you. But anyways, that's a whole different video. But I just wanted to do a disclaimer on that because I know a lot of y'all are probably saying, Lori, you don't use vegetable oil or canola oil, and I don't. So anyways, that's just up to you. But
you use peanut oil, right?
Yes.
They're good.
Let me have my cookies. Because we need to, well, one thing, we need to go to bed. We got to get up at 4:30. But anyways, there's the cookies. They're delicious. Y'all need to try them. You've seen how easy it was to put them together. It's an old-fashioned vintage recipe. So y'all try them. And if you like this recipe, give me a thumbs up. Share it. Make it. Send them to your best friend, whatever. But anyways, they're good. So if you like this, y'all come back and see us. And God bless everybody and Merry Christmas. That's a lot of cookies.